Hi everyone, this is Ramanuj from 𝘂�ey𝗍𝗀𝗀𝗀 and today I'm going to talk about a very commonly asked question, and that question is, if I have a company secretary qualification, will it help me in getting a corporate law job? Okay, now I'll tell you a story. I was doing a due diligence in a big factory. Okay, it's one of the biggest factory. I won't take a name, but I went there to do a due diligence because Morgan Stanley was private equity fund was planning to buy a stake into that factory, and we did due diligence and we had to identify, before the company could be bought, what are the defects in the corporate governance and other things like IP, everything, we are doing a legal due diligence. One of the things that was found was that this company, which is a huge company having 1,000 crores of turnover, does not have a full-time company secretary, although it is required by Companies Act to have that. Okay, so we asked them that what's the matter, before the deal goes through, both the parties try to have as many as such problems closed out so that later on there is no problem. So we asked them that why don't you have company secretary in your organization. They're like, we are ready to pay almost any salary. We have offered 1 lakh rupees per month, 1.5 lakh rupees per month, but we are in Sri Perumbudur and nobody is ready to come here as a company secretary. This was back in 2012. Okay, now what I'm trying to tell you is that there was a time when there were not enough company secretaries in India, and there was a really high demand for somebody who had the qualification of a company secretary, and they could charge a premium because of the dearth of company secretaries in India. Now what has happened is that people talked about it and it spread. The idea spread that if you do company secretary qualification, you get a lot of money. Okay, so then there was a phase when a lawyer who was otherwise finding it hard to get a job started doing company secretary program, so that law plus company secretary both will be even a better combination for them to get a job in the in-house department of a company. Okay, and this idea started floating around, and it spread and it spread and it spread, and people now believe that doing a company secretary qualification will really help them to get a corporate law job in a company or in a law firm. Now this is absolutely wrong. Okay, even if it was correct some years back, now it is not true anymore, because between then and now there has been changes in the Companies Act, and the overall work of company secretaries have changed. Okay, not only that, there are a lot of company secretaries today. The situation from 2010 or 2012 to now is completely different. There was a time when everybody used to say that just do an engineering in IT, information technology. Do it from the worst college possible and you'll still get a job, right? And that held true for a while. I mean, that was true for a long period of time. But it is not true anymore. There are so many people who have done IT engineering and did not get a job, and or got jobs which are really low paying. You have to understand that the market shifts, the realities of the business world changes, and what used to be a very lucrative, high demand profession changes in nature, right? So today also there is a demand for coders, for people who can program, people who can build products, but not so much just because you've done an IT engineering B.Tech from somewhere you will get a job. That does not hold true anymore. And services companies which hired IT engineers by thousands and lakhs, those companies are also facing a different kind of time, and business models are changing, right? So that has happened with CS, and people take a long time to realize this and talk about this. I mean, until people don't get a job, they suffer, until colleges are shutting down. Nobody was thinking that, that IT engineers would not be the most vogue thing in 2019. But in 2019, 2018, 2017, like hundreds of engineering colleges have been shut down because people are not taking admission anymore, because the graduates did not get jobs. So you don't want to get caught into something like that. And from that perspective, I'm telling you, doing CS today is not as lucrative as it used to be back in 2012 or 2013 or 2009 for that matter, right? Now, what you have to realize is that the law curriculum is so non-practical. You just learn some sections and some case laws. On the other hand, CS is a practical curriculum. So if you learn secretarial work, okay, which is not really what lawyers do in a company. Secretaries do secretarial work, lawyers do legal work. It is completely different. Okay, there is a bit of overlap in a department called compliances, because company secretaries also do compliance and lawyers also do compliance sometimes, but compliance is not the most lucrative area of practice. It is a basic entry level practice, and lawyers earn way more than company secretaries ever do. Like, if you are a good lawyer, you earn way more than a good company secretary ever will. Okay. Now, why is that? Because lawyers deal with contentious matters, high stake matters, and a company secretary, although there are a lot of high stake stuff also, but they are basically dealing with compliances, which is like more like there are prescribed things that you have to do, you have to get done, and you just get those things done, right? So this is fundamentally different. And compare that to there's a litigation going on and like thousands of crores are at stake, or a license is at stake, or your business's existence is at stake, your ownership of a property or a business is at stake, your liberty is at stake, you might go to jail. Naturally, people are ready to spend way more money on that. And that's what a lawyer can do. You cannot practice as a lawyer and as a CS at the same time. You have to choose one. Okay? So there are people who are CSs, and it's a very valid profession, great profession. You make a very decent amount of money by doing that. But at the same time, it is not as lucrative as a lawyer's profession, and you have to decide what you want to do. Are you going to be a secretary or are you going to be a lawyer? Okay. Now, if you want to be a corporate lawyer, doing CS does not have much value. Okay. I mean, there is a little bit of value, but I'll rather prefer that you spend your time doing internships, learning about corporate law work that corporate lawyers do, rather than learning CS. Maybe you can spend time writing articles, maybe you can spend time, doing long-term internships, maybe you can spend time actually figuring out, how to draft a shareholder agreement or how to negotiate a shareholder agreement in a venture capital deal or a private equity deal, how to do due diligence. If you learn those things, which are core legal skills, you are likely to earn more, find better jobs, and do much better as a lawyer. If you want to be a CS, and that's a fair call, if you want to be a CS, please do company secretaryship, but you remember that then a law is like a nice to have degree, but you're not a lawyer, you're a secretary. Okay, that clarity is very important. Okay, now if you want to work in a company in the in-house legal department, would I say that doing company secretaryship will help? It helps to a limited extent. But remember that you don't want to be slotted into the compliance department. Rather, your intention is to be a general counsel someday. Your intention is to be a counsel who's responsible for the most high-stake matters in the company. And it is not necessary that being a company secretary will help you there at all. It is not necessary that you will get a better job in a company or a better pay package in a company because you have done CS. If you are a good corporate lawyer, you have a very good chance of, even if you are a very good litigator, you have a very good chance of getting a great job in a company. As a lawyer, you don't have to worry about secretariat. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if you want to practice corporate law in a company or start your own law firm or you want to work in a law firm, company secretaryship is not the best thing you can do. Okay, I would rather see you spending your time making your profile better as a lawyer than as a secretary. Of course, there are people who don't do that, and doing something is always better than doing nothing, right? So if you're not going to do anything else, okay, if you do foundation level, executive level of CS, it just shows that you have done something, but it's really not the best thing to do, not anymore. Okay. So that's the message I want to leave you with. If you want to be a corporate lawyer, learn corporate law, learn company law. The more you learn, and a lawyer has to know a lot more. You have to have a vast amount of knowledge about business laws. The more you know, more you will benefit. And the skills are widely different, right? From compliance is a skill, but the skills you need to be a lawyer is very different. So this is what I want to leave you with. If you want to be a great corporate lawyer, don't waste your time with company secretaryship. Focus on corporate law skills.